a big story right now that's happening, even aside from gerrymandering and redistricting, has been about what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein and the campaign promises that then candidate Trump was making about transparency.
Do you think Trump really delivered on his promises of transparency? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you want to show your support for more content like this, simply like it and subscribe.
You were on the House Judiciary Committee. Democrats on that committee are calling for Trump administration officials to testify about how they've been handling this entire investigation. What would you ask them?
Oh, I mean, there's a long list. But I can tell you that I serve as the ranking member of oversight as the subcommittee on judiciary. We just had a hearing today, and they decided to go after our nonprofit organizations. But what we did is we focused on what the American people want to hear about and what we should be doing, which is actual judicial oversight. And so we should be calling in Pam Bondi. We should put her under oath to testify in front of judiciary on the House side.
About Epstein?
About Epstein, absolutely.
What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, she said, oh, you know, I've got the files on my desk. Then the next thing you know, she said, well, wait a minute, there are no files. Which one is it? When were you lying? And why are you lying? What is the cover up? We know that your boss indicated that he was going to release the files. What is the holdup on releasing the files? And how are you going to go about determining what is relevant, right? What is, I forgot the exact term that he used, but that's basically what he said, right? Like, what is going to be your process? But ultimately, I want to know not just about specifically the Epstein files, but how she is running this DOJ. Because I don't have any confidence in the way that she is running this DOJ.
Because you're intimating that somebody else is running it, or that she is a puppet, or what?
I believe that she's okay with violating the law. I
In what
believe
way?
that she's in all ways. When we talk about the firings, I have questions about the firings that she has done to so many of those people that work for the DOJ. Are you firing people in retaliation for them actually doing things that they should be doing?
Dear viewer, if you found the video useful, you can help it reach more people by liking it. You can subscribe to stay informed about future videos.
Unfortunately, we are witnessing today yet another political stunt, plain and simple. Republicans are here drawing a clear line in the sand.
Do you think these kinds of political games are damaging the justice system in the U.S.? Write your comments.
They will stop at nothing to advance Donald Trump's agenda and the dangerous blueprint laid out in Project 2025, even if it means targeting the very groups that are working to protect our communities and support our law enforcement agencies. Let's be clear, my colleagues across the aisle have shown little to no interest in working with Democrats on real solutions for the American people. Instead of addressing pressing civil rights issues constituents actually care about, like wrongful deportations of U.S. citizens, ongoing efforts to undermine voting rights, or the serious flaws in our criminal justice system, this committee is spending its time holding a hearing with a title that sounds like it was ripped from a conspiracy blog. This hearing, How Leftist Nonprofit Networks Exploit Federal Tax Dollars to Advance a Radical Agenda. Really? I mean, when I listened to you, Mr. Chairman, who I do respect, I heard you say things about why is it that we're giving money in other places? And I want to make sure that I answer that question, because to put America first looks like we are going to keep American citizens safe. There is a such thing as soft power, and that is exactly what we were trying to do when we engaged in things such as USAID. When you start to talk about whether or not Sesame Street or anything else that's on NPR or PBS ends up in other places, this is so that there is not this warped thought process about the Western world or about the United States. We're talking about making sure that we don't end up allowing people to be radicalized against us because they have a terrible vision of us, because they may be in a government that actually puts out bad, terrible propaganda about us. So for pennies on the dollar, we are able to educate those around the world on who we really are in America and keep Americans safe. Soft power is real power, and it minimizes how much money we have to spend, say, on dropping bombs in countries at a random time without, say, congressional authority. But I digress. This kind of rhetoric, whether directed at nonprofits, their leaders, or elected officials, is not only reckless, it is beneath the dignity of this institution. And sadly, this isn't the first time this has happened.
Do you think America's soft power really works? Write your thoughts. I have a quick request. If you've watched the video up to this point, you can contribute by clicking the like button. You can subscribe to stay informed about future videos.
Now think about this. Jeffrey Epstein's files are gathering dust on Trump's desk. Pam Bondi says one day, the documents are on my desk, and the next day, there is no such a file. Come on, seriously, how long has this country had to hire a fortune teller to find a criminal file? Remember what Trump promised during his election campaign? Transparency. What transparency? The man didn't even release his tax records. He hid how much tax he paid for 4 years, and now he's going to reveal Epstein's dirty laundry. I laugh. As for how Pam Bondi runs the DOJ, it's supposed to be the Department of Justice, but in reality, it's the Department of Backrooms Deals. On one hand, protect your own people. On the other, pretend you can't find the file. I ask you, isn't that too much of a coincidence? And it's not enough. They've also declared war on civil society organizations. The so-called radical leftists are embezzling state funds. Come on, what do you mean by radical? Is an association that provides funding for women's shelters radical? Is a foundation that fights AIDS and child abuse radical? White supremacists like the New Century Foundation can spew hatred with impunity thanks to tax exemption. Or Turning Point USA at the heart of the January 16th insurrection. No word on them. Is this your idea of justice? I ask, who do you think is causing greater harm to the state?